In this lesson, we're going to see how we can navigate to a website and then pull all the images from that website into a folder. So start by creating a new form, and we'll add a web browser control, text box that we're going to name URL, navigate button, a download button, and a list box that we're going to put all the images in. One thing to note, we'll change the raw source type to value list, and I've just named the controls a bit more descriptive names to make it easier in the code later. The web browser control you can get from ActiveX controls. If you scroll down to Microsoft, and near the bottom there's a Microsoft web browser, just add that to the form. So we'll start by getting the web browser control to navigate to the URL we're going to pass it. So if we click on navigate button, go to event and use the on-click event in Code Builder. So what do we want to do in the navigate button? We want to get the web browser to navigate to the URL that we're passing it, and then there's two events we can use on the web browser control. So if we choose the left hand drop down, pick the web browser, and then right drop down we can pick two events, download begin and the download complete. Don't need the updated one, so get rid of that. Now download begin, you can set some information to show that it started, maybe a checkbox you could switch on, tick, untick, and when the download complete, this is when we know the page has completed. So we can then use the code, the HTML that's downloaded from the page. So let's develop an object, then user for each object in the web browser. Document.all, so we can everything from that. And then we'll want to get all the images. So if the object contains a tag name equal to image, then we'll want to get the source attribute from the image. So object dot get attribute, what attribute source, and we want to add that to the list box. So list images dot add item, and then pass it the object. So go back to the code, quick look, and we'll put in 599, navigate, it'll load the website, and then once it's completed, it'll add all the images to the list box. Now you can edit these, get rid of them, do whatever you want. So we've got all of them now, we need a way of downloading them. So let's go back to design view, click on the download button, back into the VBA, and when we click on the download, we want to run a piece of code that we're now going to write called download. It's going to pass each item from list images we want to loop through all of the images. So dim I is an integer, and then for I equals 0 to list images dot list count -1, because arrays start at 0, so we need to go from 0 to the list count -1, or we'll get an array out of bounds error. So we're going to download each image. So let's create a new function or sub called download. We are going to use file and use this. So there's a private function you can use of the Windows API, which I'm not going to go into massive details about, but you can look that up on the net if you really want to know. But it's just called URL download to file, and you pass it a few variables that we're going to use here. So URL download to file, and we need to pass it the file that we want to download, and then we're going to save it to a particular place. So let's dim a few variables here. Path of DB, file name, and the save to. To get the path of the database, we'll use current project dot path, add a trailing slash on it. File name, we're going to create a new function that gets the file name from the full source code. So the source of an image will be like 599cd.com/image.ping, so we just want the image.ping file name, we don't want the full URL to it. And then the save to is going to equal path db and the file name. Set done equal to the URL to download, because it's turning along, as in has it actually downloaded or has it not. If done equals 0, then else, and if. So if done equals 0, then we know that the file has been downloaded. Hooray! Else something's gone wrong and the file can't be found. You could go into further error checking here, but just a simple tutorial, so we'll not do it this time. Now, we've mentioned that we want a function to get the file name, so we're passing a string. And it's going to be the source. So what do I need this to do? We need to get the source of an image. So let's have a look at what an actual source of an image is. So if we look, we've got the web address, depending on where it's saved in a folder, and then the file name. So the easiest way I've found to get the file name is to find when the first slash happens. But since that's the first slash, that's not the first slash, that is, why don't we use a couple of string manipulation things? So we'll use the string reverse function that takes a value, so that full string, reverses it, so it'll then be the opposite way, and we'll use the in string to then find when the first time slash is. So when is that slash? And we need to pass that value back. So let's dim some variables, value and file name. We then want to use another string function, so the write. We have the source, and now we have the amount from the write that we need to take off. Value -1. We don't actually want the slash. We want one less of it, so we want that, and it'll return that. And don't forget to set file name equal to fn, the value that we've just taken off. So, have we got everything there? Let's have a quick look. We'll go back to here, view the form, navigate again, pull down all of the images, click download, and we're now going to get a message box for each image. Check the folders that the images are in, and there we go, it's pulled all of the images from the website, popped them into a folder that the database was stored in. It's easy as that.